Alright, so we're kind of getting to Banlist season where, like, we know our Banlist is coming in August sometime. I know it's coming, so, you know, what else can we do other than just pray that we get a ban list and that it is a ban list that bans the list and lists the bands that are going to be on the ban list. Hello, welcome back. We've, subscribe. I don't know how to do intros. Here I have like 33 cards that I think could all come off the ban list in some way, shape, or form. Some of these are targeted towards decks, some of these aren't targeted towards decks, some of these are cards I want to come off. I think that's what half of these are actually. So let's just get straight into it. And first of all, we have the cards for the Fiendsmith engine. Banning Lorry makes the Fiendsmith engine slightly weaker. There's really no good way to actually hit the Fiendsmith engine that I think they're going to do, because like all the cards are far too recent, like the Link 2 that can, you know, be used as link material for the Link 1, and then every other card in the Fiendsmith archetype are all very far too recent to be hit. So I think they're going to just hit the cards that enables it, that enables the Fiendsmiths, rather than just like the cards in the Fiendsmith archetype. So I think Banning Lorry is just a nice little band-aid hit. It makes the deck, like the mixed engine, slightly weaker. That's around about it. Same can be said for Beatrice and Appaloosa, but Beatrice and Appaloosa have been kind of, you know, needing a ban for a while. Beatrice is just far too generic and powerful. Same with Appaloosa. Appaloosa is just like 3 negates. It's very good. Especially when combined with a Fiendsmith engine that can just turbo it out really quickly. Beatrice, not that bad. The main reason this is here is to cut off a bit of consistency for the Snake Eye engine. And Appaloosa is just far too generically powerful. Next up we have the Snake Eye hits. I think Ash 1 and Monster 1 are decent enough hits. We've already hit the consistency slightly with the Fiendsmith hits, but I think hitting these 2 to 1, like their 2 most powerful starters, will also just kind of, I don't know, make it just that slightly less powerful. Anyway, here's the real hit. Flamberge to ban. It kind of decimates the deck. It makes it so it's infinitely less recurable, because Flamberge can no longer just summon 2 guys from graveyard. The deck now makes weaker endboards, because you can't, you know, trigger that effect. The same effect that gives you the recurability during your opponent's turn, during your turn, in order to just summon 2 guys back after using his link material, or you can't put like IP in the spell trap zone, then use this effect in order to summon it during your opponent's turn. Everything about Snake Eyes gets significantly weaker the second you ban Flamberge. Yeah, other than that, the only other banned card I want is Skill Drain. You might notice a theme here, and that's that we're banning a lot of Floodgates, and also just really powerful cards, because we can't actually actively hit, you know, any of the Fiendsmiths. But, you know, Skill Drain, why the fuck is this card legal? And I guess you could say the same for, like, Protoss and Colossus, but these cards are being used more in, what is it? Ritual Beast? By using the new rank 4 Pyro monster that can search a Pyro, you can search, like, Flag, which can either search Protoss itself or search Corridor to make Colossus, which, you know, gives Ritual Beast an unhealthy access to Floodgates. But back to Skill Drain, having a Floodgate that can be turned off with a switch is just so unbelievably broken. It is not very fair for any other deck that has to go up against it. Also Whitewoods to an extent. Whitewoods can also do the same thing as the Snake Eyes, where they can just turn the Floodgate off whenever they want to, and I just don't think that should be legal. Last hit to the Ritual Beast, by the way. Dimension Shifter, very long overdue. I hate this card with passion. I play Fire King Fry Brigade. This shit is the bane of my existence. Anyway, onto like the decks that don't need like 4 hits. Sangan Summoning to 1. Now, this is currently how it's hit in the OCG, Sangan Summoning to 1. And it's currently like one of the most represented decks as seen in a most recent tournament. But I do think that Sangan Summoning to 1 has some kind of like merit. Because 1, it makes it so the deck becomes weaker to hand traps, because you're no longer starting with the card that makes you immune to them. It makes it much easier to like Ash I don't know, Pydora, as long as they just don't have the extension. Anyway, back to banning the, what is this, 9th card. Gimmick Puppet of Strings. This is mainly just to stop Gimmick Puppet FTK. Gimmick Puppet is perfectly fine without the FTK. As long as we can stop the FTK, it's just good. Alright, next up, the Yubel hit on this list. Woo! It's, just limit another starter that also doubles as extension. Probably one of the better starters. Yeah. I don't know, I couldn't really think of anything for Yubel, so it's just here. Anyway, cards that should be banned. King Calamity. This card should have been banned like 8 years ago. It's currently being turboed out by like Whitewood Centurion. It's just not a fun card. It's been like legal every format. There's been like one deck in like the corner of the room that can turbo it out every format, and it has never been healthy for the game. I do not like this card. I don't like Floodgates in general. I think that's a pretty common take. Anyway, we only have 2 more cards that want banned. That's Droll and Lockbird and Dimensional Barrier. Now, I want Droll banned for consistency's sake. I don't like lingering Floodgates from the hand. Like Dimension Shifter, Maxi, I only like them if they're like properly balanced. Like things like the new Mulcharmy monsters, those cards are really well balanced around going second and actually having like a limit to how many you can add. But like Droll and Shifter is just like a Floodgate you activate from your hand and then your opponent just can't do a certain thing. Shifter, no more graveyard. Droll, no more searching. You know, both can fuck you over in a massive way, and also Droll's been legal pretty much in every deck for like, and it's been good in pretty much every format for the past like while. So yeah, I just say ban it. You could also make an argument for it to go to 1, but I just don't want it to be on 1. Dimensional Barrier, another card that's been good for a number of formats now and is still legal for some reason. It's another card where you can just like flip it up game through and it's just like instant win. It's not a very healthy card for the game, I'll just put it simply. Anyway, that's all the hits to the top decks and also just Floodgates that I don't like. Anyway, let's talk about the unhits. I'm going to say that the 2 Melting Memories are going to come back to 3. They're currently both at 2, there's no reason for them to be at 2. They could come back to 3 tomorrow and like nothing would change. I still don't think Melting would be able to compete. Next up, Rescue Ace Airlifter. If we're taking away some consistency from Rescue Ace, we should probably give some back, you know. I don't know why Airlifter is even at 1. It's just stupid. Next up, I think all 4 of the Dragon Rulers are going to be put 2-2. It's just what happened in the OCG. I think they're just going to copy. Next up, we have AFD, Blood, Chalice Justiciar, and Dangwon. These cards are all pretty fun. Just come back to 1, to come back there, to come back to 3. Like, you only play 1 of them anyway. There's no reason for them to be at 3. At 1, I'm having a stroke. Another card that's at... then we just have some cards that are at 2 that could come back to 3, nothing would change. Those being Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Pank has just been power grabbed by Fenrir, so there's no real reason to keep it on the ban list. Armageddon Knight was used back in the day to set up a lot of really powerful warrior FTKs, which would cycle through things like Isolde, Helga Fibrax, Lancross, Auroradon. Only problem is like all 5 of those cards are banned, so you know, no real reason to keep it on there. Next up, Gub. Gub has been becoming legal in a lot of formats recently, and I think the next one to let it be legal again will be the TCG. No real reason, I just think it will. Next up, Hornet Drone Satura. I think this is going to happen just solely because of Sky Striker hype. It's the only Sky Striker card still on the list. It can come off tomorrow and nothing would change. I just think it's more likely that they're going to put it to 2 instead of just flat out unbanning it. Next up, Time Seal. This is like a really bad card from like the early 2000s that no one would play. The idea is like, oh, you can infinitely loop it. Who the fuck is going to infinitely loop this card? Alright, next up, Red Rose. This card was banned due to Halka Fibrax shenanigans when Halka interacts with the, the Adventure Engine. You can like use this plus a, you could normal summon this after going through your adventure stuff in order to make like Barone using it and Wandering Griffin Rider. And then you could summon Roxrose, and then you could use Roxrose plus the token in order to make Crystal and Halka Fibrax. Unfortunately, both Crystal and Halka Fibrax and Barone have been banned, so there's no real reason to keep it on the ban list. And then Monkey Board, because I like Monkey Board. Anyway, that was a ban list video. Bye bye.